Hello and welcome to day 2 of our free online coding lessons with Superjcybs Business and Services. We are so much glad to have you with us. I believe by now you might have gone through the video 1 where I told you and gave you every bit of breakdown as to what we will be doing in this training. Now we are here at phase 1, where I said we will be looking at setting up the environment for our program. This is going to be a very short one because in day 2, the only thing we are looking at is downloading and installing the various softwares that we are going to be using for our coding lessons. And so, without wasting time, why not head onto the screen so that we do it all together. Okay, so here we are on my screen. We said in our previous video that we will be looking at them in phases. When we come onto this page, you will see we are now going to start with the setup and setting up the environment. Okay, so I'll click on it and then it opens its own presentation. Okay, that is, if we come here, we are going to need 3 softwares. The first one is going to be the browser. The second one is going to be the first one is going to be the browser. The second one is going to be a code editor. Okay, so for the code editor, even though you can use Notepad to do your coding, you can try Notepad, because it is also a note editor. So even though you can use Notepad for your coding, but I strongly recommend that you go in for a higher one like Sublime Test or Visual Studio. Okay, I'm going to open all of them for you in this tutorial so that you can be able to make a decision. If you want to use both of them too, it is allowed. That is what I'm going to do, and some Chrome extensions, but because not all of us are going to be using the Chrome browser, that one is optional. Okay, so we quickly move on. For those of you who are looking out to download Chrome, if you go to Google, you just go to Google and say I want to download Google Chrome, and then you check for the link which says chrome.google link, and then just choose your download preference. That is, if you are using Windows machine, you have to choose the Windows setup, and then if you are using Mac, you have to choose the Mac setup. So that is also with the Chrome. And then for those of you who are already having it, like myself, there's no need downloading it again. So now we are going to look at the setting up of the VS Code. Now VS Code is a code editor that is mostly used. A whole lot of programmers use VS Code, and so if you want to join them, you can also download VS Code. And so just as it is, you just have to go to code.visualstudio.com and then download it from there. Or better still, you just go to Google and then, as I always do, you type Visual Studio and then you will get it also. So that is how you can download Visual Studio. I'm also going to take you through how to install it so that you wouldn't be found wanting. For those of you who are willing to go for Sublime Test, you can also hit their website, that is sublimetest.com, to download it. Or better still, like I said from before, you just have to go to google.com and then search download Sublime Test and it will come, because it is widely used, it is there. So then the next thing that you're going to be looking at is Introduction to Webworks, which I'm not really going to delve much into it. Over here, the only thing that I wanted to look at is two controversial terms. One is web designer and then the next is web developer. So as to whether you want to be a web designer or you want to be a web developer, it is up to you. But what is the difference? If you say somebody is a web designer, this person designs the look and how the website feels. The only thing they do is working on the look and the feel. They are interested in the artistic look of the website, and then like the layout, the fonts to use, the color, the images. Some web designers don't even know any line of code because they use CMS. So, and then there's the web developer who is always interested in writing every code. Most web designers work front end, nothing about back end, so they don't really do anything about database and all those kind of things. But if you want to become a web developer, maybe a front end developer or a back end developer, then you would have to learn, if you can, learn web designing, and then you learn content development also, as well as if you want to do back end developing, also you want to do back end developing, you can also learn back end developing, and a little bit of internet security configuration, because you are going to need it. Yeah, sure, like SSL and all those kind of thing. You would also have to look into that also. So here we are on my desktop. As you can see, I have two folders here because I have already downloaded them. Amazing. So when I open my folder, you will see that I have two raw files. The first one says Sublime test build, and then the second one says VS Code. So these are the two test editors that are mostly used by most programmers. And now that you are becoming a programmer, it is very vital that you use at least one of these softwares. The first one that I'm going to work on, the Sublime test. I chose to do that one first because it is very easy to do. The Sublime test is too lightweight. That is one thing that I like about the Sublime test. And aside that, it color codes. Even though you have that one in VS Code also, but Sublime test, it comes automatically with it. And it is way advanced than I'm talking about their color coded because there are a lot of things that I like to do with VS Code than Sublime test. So I will just double click on it so that we are able to install the Sublime test here. So we are greeted with this interface. This over here, it's just simple. Just, you see this thing over here, it says add to Explorer content manager. This is it, so that when I right click on any icon and it is possible to be some line of code, it will show that. Let me just give you an example over here. Like I go to my desktop, and then if I come here and then I right click on this, you see that it says open with Sublime test over here. So that is basically what this particular thing is going to do, just adding your Sublime test to your context menu. Good. The context menu means whenever you right click on a file, sure. So I just need it, so I'm gonna say next, and then over here the next thing I'm going to do is say install, and then after that it is going to install. So like I said, it is very easy to install, sure. Because I already have it, there's no need to install it, but I'm going to open it so that you see how it looks like, and that is what I'm going to do. Good. So this is the interface of Sublime test. This is how it looks like over here, just simple. And then I can start writing some line of code simply here, and we are good to go. If I say HTML, but what I'm going to do now is that first I'm going to save it. Let me just say I want to create a little bit of file, just something small for you to see. So I'm going to say I'm going to create something over here, and it is going to be an HTML file. When we get into HTML, you will understand this one more. And then this one now I'm going to open it with Sublime test. So that is how basically it works, and here we are. So if I should write some little line of code over here, you see how everything goes. So you see the color coding that I'm talking about. Over here it is in pink, over here it is in green, over here it is in red, telling you the various syntaxes in what we are doing. So basically this is how Sublime test look like, and I can just close all or split view so that the same thing is open here and here. I can add more over here, I can add more over here, and then a whole lot of them. Once we get into coding and then it requires that we look into any of them, I'm going to definitely look into that with you. So without wasting time, let us go and then install the second setup, that is VS Code. Like I said, I've already installed it. Now for those of you who are asking for the icon for Sublime test, this is the icon for Sublime test over here. As you can see, this is the icon for Sublime test. This very one. So this one, this, you see it is written over here, Sublime test 3. So this is the icon for Sublime test, and then there's the second one we are going to install, and that is VS Code. So this is Sublime test, the icon, and then this is VS Code. Amazing. So let's quickly move on and then install VS Code. Whew. So it is very easy. Like I said, it is going to be very easy. Today is day 2, and we are only doing the setups. We are just setting up our computer for programming, and once we move into day 3 we start coding HTML. Sure. So that is VS Code, and then I opened it. This is their install window, the installer, and then over here I just have to say I accept that the agreement, and then click on next. If I want an icon on the desktop, I just tick on this. If I don't want it, I just remove it. So it is up to you. Good. And then once I click on next, you see I have install here, and then quickly click on install, and then you are good to go. It also gets installed on your machine. Because I already have it, there's no need installing it again, so I am rather going to open it so that you'll be able to see. So let me launch VS Code from here. I can also right click on this. It is also in the context menu, so I can right click on this and say open with code. You see the icon over there. So there is the icon of VS Code. So it says open with code here. So here we are with this one is Sublime test. That's not what we are looking for. We are looking for VS Code. So here we are. This is the VS Code interface. Let me just turn all of these things out, and then I've opened what we have on the desktop. So when you check here, it gives us the directory for whatever file that we are working on. So over here it shows us that on our desktop there's a file called index.html, and that is what we have opened now. One thing that I love about VS Code is the fact that when you come to file, you have autosave over here. Yeah, so quickly your work is being saved, and then it is being previewed for you to see. But the only bad thing is that sometimes when you make a mistake, it is automatically saved. So be careful as to which one you want to use. But over here, it is because it's an HTML file, I'm going to also use a boilerplate here. And over here, I just write this and then I type that. Good. HTML, and then here we are. Okay. There's so much to it, but once we get into it, I will be giving you more tutorials. I just want to use this, the boilerplate. Good. So here we are. It also has a color coding over here. You see there are about 3 different colors now, and then here is where the magic starts. So this thing that I just did is HTML, and with this we can have a web page created. Let me just say open with, oh, but still, let me just, it is auto save, so it has already saved. I'll just minimize this, and then I'll come here and then open this. So I'm opening this, and then it opens with my browser. That is how HTML is. Once we get into HTML, you understand better. And here we are, because we didn't write anything in our code, that is why we don't have anything here. But once we come here and then write something in our code, let me just write my name here, and then I'll save it, or better still, it is automatically saved. Now let me refresh this page and see. You see my name is here. So that is how HTML works. And don't worry, in the next video, which is day 3, we will be looking into HTML. See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to enjoy whatever thing we are doing. And then if this one is amazing, please leave a comment and then like our videos. I have lots of tutorials on my channel. You can go ahead and then look at them, watch them, enjoy them, and always leave a comment. Thank you. See you in the next video.